So in today's video, we are going to go over my exact onboarding process that I've used in order to onboard 30 plus clients for my agency, and it's always worked out well. Now, this onboarding process has been refined since I first started my agency. I don't even remember how I onboarded clients when I first started out. It was probably pretty bad. But now I've kind of cracked the code into creating a very streamlined onboarding approach. So in today's video, I want to share every single thing that I do in order to onboard my Say Media clients. So make sure you watch this along. I am going to leave a onboarding presentation that I use template in the description below. So make sure to check that out. But without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Make sure to watch all the way till the end because this whole video is not going to make sense to you if you don't go through every single thing I go through with my onboarding process and watch this till the end. So make sure to watch this till the end and start implementing this same exact process into your agency. And trust me, you will see the difference with your working relationship with your client just because your onboarding has been amazing or will be amazing after this video. So let's switch over to my screen right now. So let's go over the entire process I use in order to onboard my local service-based business clients. I'm in the home improvement industry, so you can use this for any type of client really. This onboarding process is evergreen, so make sure to follow along. I will include this lead gen onboarding template in the description below, so make sure to download that. But apart from that, let's go over the exact process I use in order to onboard all of my clients, set the right expectations, and make it seamless as possible. So the first thing I do is we schedule the onboarding call, right? So after they pay the invoice, we schedule the onboarding call. We add them to a Slack channel or a WhatsApp business channel, whatever your clients prefer. Some of my clients prefer to communicate on WhatsApp. We do WhatsApp business. Some of my clients prefer to communicate on Slack. So then we do Slack. So either way, you create a channel, you say hello, you get the rest of your team members to say hello as well. And then we go ahead and schedule the onboarding call. So on the onboarding call, the first thing I would do is introduce, myself. If I wasn't the one that closed them, I'll introduce my team members and basically get acquainted with the client. I'll tell them how excited I am to have them on board and maybe sometimes even show them other case studies or current clients that I'm working with, if I'm allowed to do so, just to kind of get them excited, get them pumped into working with me. Once that stage is done, I share my screen and I go over this quick presentation. So I say welcome to Say Media. We're very, very happy to have you here. Super excited on what we can do in the next 90 days for you. But yeah, if you have any questions throughout this, just let me know. We're basically going to run you through our onboarding process and get you fully officially onboarded as a Say Media client. So next, expectations. Basically, I go over the agenda. So expectations, partner checklist, and actually going live and how that's going to look like. So again, I would put my team members on here. So I'll put myself, I'll put my, if I have a media buyer or ad account manager, I'll put them here. If I have an appointment setter, I'll put them there. If I have a customer success manager, I'll put them there. With my agency, we have myself, we have a media buyer or ad account manager, and we have a customer success manager to make sure that someone is managing the project. So I would introduce everyone on here again to make sure that the client knows who is in charge of what. And then, if you need anything at all, we are on the same team. The key here is to make the client comfortable with you, right? You are a person online, right? You never met your client. Maybe some of you have, but in most cases, you never met your client and they just paid you money. It's a scary thing to do, especially if the client has been burnt out by an agency before. So we want to make sure they feel as comfortable as possible working with us. Now, expectations, right? One thing I like to say is it's okay to feel anxiety at the start of this because I know my clients feel anxiety when starting with me because they still haven't yet seen what we're capable of. And I tell them, listen, this is when the real growth happens. I reassure them that we're constantly testing the market, the audience in order to find our purple cow offer, and tell them that, when your marketing isn't finally in check, your business will be. So let us do what we're best at doing. We will be testing a bunch of things in the first month of us working together in order to truly understand and figuring out marketing for your business. We expect you to keep us updated on what is going on with the leads, how many deals have been closed, the revenue that has been generated, and to essentially be fully transparent with us. We would appreciate honesty. So we want to create honesty between ourselves, between the client. We want to make sure that the client communicates to us about every single lead or closed deal or how much revenue they generated, because that's important for us to be able to then use that data in order to feedback into what we're doing, to see whether we need to make any improvements, and so on, right? So we need that data. Um, we we don't just say this for no reason. We actually need the client to communicate back to us. Because if the client is like not really saying much or not really communicating to us about how the leads are, the quality of the leads, the quality of the appointments, then we essentially won't have that feedback loop going on to be able to know whether we need to improve on anything, whether we need to change any type of messaging, the ad that we're running, the lead forms that we're using, and a bunch of other things, right? So we need that feedback from the client. So partner checklist. Here we essentially make sure what payment plan they've signed up for, how much they've paid already, the ad spend per month, and whether they've signed the agreement or not. Now, the agreement and the first payment should be done on the sales call, but sometimes clients might take some time to read through the agreement. So sometimes they want to do it on the sales call. So we want to double check before we start the work that the agreement has been read and signed. We understand the payment plan. The client understands how they're going to get billed working with us and the ad spend that we're going to be spending every single month. So this is what we're going to go over with the client just to make sure there's no confusion about how we get paid, the agreement, and how much we're going to be spending on Facebook. So the next thing we want to do is get access to their business manager. Now, this depends on client to client, right? Some of my clients have like a fully well-made business manager or fully set up business manager. So all I have to do is give them this Leadsy link. They would click on that and they will give me partner access straight away. It's super easy to use this software. So if you can, implement it. But if not, if your client never really used Facebook ads or they never really played around within the business manager, sometimes my clients won't even have the business manager. So I would have to basically walk them through on how to create one and then how to invite me as a partner or as an admin. Usually, like if they have a business manager and they haven't set it up, what I would do is rather than getting a partner access, I would get a admin access to their business manager. Now I know people say never, never get added to business managers as an admin employee or like as a person, get invited as a business partner. Sometimes it's just way, way easier for me to be able to set everything up correctly if I'm a full admin within their business manager. And we can avoid going back and forth with the client and asking for different levels of access. If they just give me a full admin access straight away, I can come in, set everything up, have all the access I need to set everything up, and then invite myself as a partner, as a business partner with my business manager ID, and then leave sort of their business manager as the admin and join back as a partner once everything has been set up. So the way to do that is pretty simple. So you'd go on business.facebook.com. You'd ask the client to pull up their business manager just like this. And then on people section, they would simply have to click on invite people. They would put in your email, right? So let me just click on next. Full control, right? So we want full control. Click on next. You don't have to do anything here just because you have full control. Next, continue, review invitation, send invitation. That's all you need to do, right? To get yourself added as an admin so you can come in and set everything up for them. If they want to add you as a partner, you'd go on partners, click on give a partner access to your assets. They would put in your business manager ID, click on next, 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 and set that up and give you access. Simple as that. This is essentially how we get access to the business manager. Next, we again want to make sure that they got the Slack channel invite. Now, usually, and you'll see this later on, we have two Slack channels, a communication channel and a lead notification channel, right? So communication channel is where we communicate with the client. It's pretty straightforward. This is where we bookmark anything that needs to be bookmarked. This is where we send our updates. This is where we essentially just carry all communication. Now we tell the client that most of our communication is on Slack. So please don't email us. Please don't text us, call us, or anything like that. All the communication is on Slack. Now the lead notification channel is essentially an automation where we basically, when the client gets a Facebook lead, that basically gives a notification to that Slack channel like, hey, you got a new lead. Here's the information. And that's for the client to see, right, what leads they're getting, and for us to see, right, what leads we're getting and how many leads we're getting on a daily basis. So we make sure the client has access to both the communication channel and the lead notification channel. So if they still haven't joined, I would basically ask them to check their email and join those channels. Onboarding form, right? So I think I still have that link here. Let me see if I can open it. All right, so onboarding form. This is my onboarding form. I have 3 pages, right, that they have to fill out. Now I know it might seem a lot, but I need as much as info as possible in order for me to be able to provide the best results for them. Right. What we do with these onboarding forms is after the client has filled them out, obviously all of my team will have access to that Google Forms account just to see all the responses. But we would also copy the link and save it somewhere, right? Bookmark it on a Slack channel, or we would create an Excel sheet where we save all the onboarding forms that have been filled out by different clients. So we make sure that they fill out the onboarding form. Now, usually we would get them to do this before the onboarding call. However, most of the times I notice like if we send the onboarding form before the onboarding call, they just won't do it. So 9 times out of 10, the client would come on the call without having filled out the onboarding form. So we make sure that they do that. Now, we don't get them to do it like on the call just because that will take ages. Usually our calls last for 30 minutes to an hour. If they had to fill out the onboarding form on the call, it would be like 2, 3 hour long call, and nobody wants to do that. So we just tell them like, hey, listen, we'll resend this link on the Slack channel. So make sure to open it and make sure to fill it up today or tomorrow latest. Next thing we do is sales goals. So we go over their goals, what they're looking to achieve, right? So what's their current revenue per month? What's their target revenue? Their average ticket price, current number of leads that they're getting, how many leads they need or they think they need per month, closing rate, and sales needed per month, and any other notes that the client discusses. Ideal customer profiles, so interest, demographics. These are the 2 main sort of things, but the client can also tell us usually I get a lot of moms, right, interested in my service because they're interested in kitchen design or kitchen modeling. Or sometimes I would get people in the suburbs or something like that, right? So let the client talk to you about who they think their ideal customer profile is. Now, this is important, not for targeting purposes on Facebook, but rather crafting your message and your offer that you're going to advertise for the client, right? So, with the ideal customer profile, I always like to say, like, whenever you're writing out any copies, any offers, any ad scripts, you always want to have the ideal customer profile in mind, just because every single thing that you do within your marketing has to be tailored or fitted towards who you are actually going after, right? If it's moms, right, you're gonna talk about maybe experiences being a mom, or like try to put a kitchen design onto them, right? It's like design the kitchen you always dream of, so your kids and husband can this and that. You get the idea, right? Purple cow offer. So we ask the client to tell us about their clients' pain points, their clients' dream outcomes, any current past offers that they have run, what main services they want to target. Sometimes our clients have like multiple services. So when we first start off, we don't just advertise all the services out there. That's not the way to get results, right? Less is more. So we make sure that we start off with advertising one service, such as kitchen remodeling, or maybe the most popular or in-demand service that the client has. So we start off with this, right? So in this case, it would be like kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling. Time frame to deliver the service. So how long does it actually take from quote to finished remodel? Sometimes, well, from what our clients tell us, it takes like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, if everything goes smoothly. Do they offer financing? The reason why we ask that is because sometimes we use financing as a unique selling point. Because we tell people like, hey, get your kitchen remodel financed by us with 0% interest. Do you offer any freebies? So what do I mean by freebies is like free shower head, installation, free goodie bag, free coupon. Like, do you offer any freebies, right? Because this just makes our offer stronger. And then also, what's the maximum that you're comfortable for discounting your service? So if we can present any discounts, what's the max that they are willing to go down to? Usually it's 20%, 15, 20%. Next, we go over on how the ads work. So we tell them like, listen, you won't get 50 leads in the first day of launch. But this is important. This step is super, super important because you want to set the right expectations. If you fail to set the right expectations from the beginning, your partnership is going to be a nightmare. And I'm telling you this from now on. If you don't set the right expectations from the beginning, your partnership with your client will be a nightmare because their expectations will be all the way here, and your actual service or like delivery or like the results that you're getting from the start is going to be here, right? Over time, obviously, you will climb up there, but at the beginning, it will be here, and your client's expectations will be here. So you want to bring them down, right, to the same level. So you tell them like, listen, you won't get 50 leads in the first day of launch. Week one, we learn about your audience, your business. We run tests. We play around with the funnel, the copy, the creatives. Week two, we keep testing. We seek to get a feedback report from you on how the leads that we have collected been so far, if they're good, bad, qualified, unqualified. We constantly ask you to update us on your leads, the quality of your calls, and if there should be improvements made for the way we run our ads. And then, week three, what happens in week three, week four, week five, week six, week seven, right? So set timely expectations on what will happen week by week. So, how to succeed, right? Following up and using our proven sales process is a determining factor that will make or break this system. So, we want to make sure that the client is following up with all their leads, right? We want to make sure that they're not relying on our go high level automations, such as Mia here, right? Mia, we tell them like, hey, this is your new virtual assistant. She will start conversations, she will follow up with people, but people like people. So we tell the client, make sure to call the leads within the first 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes of them coming in, right? That's important. Lead to dial Lead to dial speed is super important in Facebook ads or running any type of ads because there's a certain buyer's window, right? Within ads. First, they see your ad, they get interested, they submit the form. And then if you call them within the first 5, 10 minutes, they will remember what they've submitted their form for. However, if you wait till next day or 2 days after to call them, you'll call them and they'll be like, oh, I'm not interested anymore. I forgot what you're talking about. Like I never submitted a lead form, right? So there's a tight buyer's window that you have to play against, which is the first uh, maximum, I'd say 3, 4 hours, right? That you should take to call a lead. 3, 4 hours after, you have less of a chance to get in touch with the lead or book an appointment with them. So last steps, I tell them like, what are the next steps after this onboarding? So we'll schedule a launch call 10 days from now. I have like a sort of systems training on teaching them how to use high level. So I make sure they watch that. I send it over to them on Slack. And then I tell them like sit back, relax, and let us handle the rest and keep an eye out on Slack. That's an important point because, our setup will how quick we set the client up is determined by how quick they are able to respond back to us if we have any more further questions. So after going through this presentation, I go on high level and I create a sub account for them, right? I have my own snapshot. Yep. So I have my own snapshot that I create for them. I account manually. I fill out all of this information here, right? So let me just street, Hopkins Street, 2, city, country. I wish they had a search feature on this, but New York. Obviously, I'm putting in fake information here, but with your client, just make sure you put the real information. Then click on save. And then you would want to switch to sub account. You want to set up their calendar, right? So calendar settings. With my snapshot, we already have the calendar set up. So you just click on edit. And then you'd go through the availability, the forms, connections, right? So you want to set up an external calendar with them. So that's basically connecting their Google Calendar, right? So you would sign into Google or get them to sign into Google here, right, with you. And then the next step, once you've done that and you've connected the Google Calendar to your high-level calendar, the next step is to fill out custom values. So we use custom values in order to just make it easier for us to change up our pre-built automations. So you'd go ahead and fill all of this out with the client. And then on automations, what I would do, so as you can see, I already have everything pre-built, right? If you guys join my community at Amplify and you sign up to high level using my affiliate link, you'll be able to get access to the snapshot with possibly all the automations that you could think of. So sites, right? We have the sites kind of pre-built here, right? So the only thing we'd have to do is kind of change it up a bit for our client. Automations, one thing that I like doing is I like creating an Excel sheet where, whoever booked an appointment, they automatically get added here, right? Because I don't want to always be logging into high level to check what type of appointments we're getting, right? So what I would do is appointment booked, right? Google Sheets, send data to Google Sheets, and then I would connect my Google account, and then I would send data to the sheet here. It's pretty simple to do on high level, but yeah, their name, email, phone number, and appointment date will get added here automatically. And then status, the client can basically use this to mark the status of the appointment. So not interested, quoted, closed, unqualified, and they can click here and add any other sort of statuses, right? So that's one thing I would do. The next thing I would do is to set up the lead notification. So I would go here. As you can see, I have that already set up here. I would send notification to Slack. I would connect my Slack account, and then I would create like a message just like this, right? Like a lead notification message just like this to send to the Slack account, right, that I've connected, or the Slack channel that I've connected. And now every single time that we're going to get a lead, myself and the client will basically be notified on the Slack channel. So yeah, this is essentially what I do when it comes to onboarding a SMMA media client. So if you'd like this, make sure to like the video, make sure to comment down below any questions that you have. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow and try to be more consistent with the videos. Make sure to join the community, link in the description below, or yeah, link in the description. Make sure to drop a follow on Instagram and anything else that I put in my description. Just make sure to go ahead and check that out. But yeah, again, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help. I will leave this sort of template in the description below for you guys to play around with, to change up, to use for your own onboarding process. But apart from that, it has been a pleasure, and I'll see you on the next one.